All right, this is a quick little review. Hopefully you haven't forgotten this, but if I tell you these are the zeros, can you write this as a polynomial? Remember, if this is a 0, I know this is a factor, okay? Because look, if I plug in 2, it makes it 0. Now remember, if you've got i's or if you've got radicals, they come in pairs. So if this is a 0, then 3 plus I is also a 0, okay? Because remember, they come in pairs. So if I was going to write this as a factor, just like I wrote this one as a factor, it's always x minus, and then just subtract your 0. So this would be 3 minus I. And this one would be, again, it's always x minus, and this one would be 3 plus I. Okay, so these are your factors, but if on your test, and I'll just write this p of x over here for kicks, if it wants you to write it as a polynomial, you then have to multiply these all together to get it. So I personally would multiply these two together first, okay? Because if you do it right, your i's will cancel, okay? So look what you've got here. You got x times x is x squared. So just multiply all this out together and see what you get. Notice that gives me negative 3x plus xi. And then I'm going to move over here to this negative 3 and multiply it times everything in the second polynomial. So that gives me negative 3x. This gives me what? Positive 9. And this gives me negative, what, 3i. Okay, then we'll move over here to the negative I and multiply it times everything. So that gives me negative ix. This gives me plus 3i. And this one gives me what? Negative I squared. Okay, so I'm not even worried about him right now, but look what happens here. Notice this is a positive 3i and this is a negative 3i, so that's gone, okay? Notice this is a positive xi and this is a negative xi, so those are gone. So remember I said if you do it right, your i's are going to cancel. Okay, so look what you've got here, negative 3x minus 3x. Those don't cancel, those are the same sign, so I've got minus 6x. And be careful here. Remember, I squared is negative 1. So a negative, negative 1, this right here is a positive 1. So I've got right here plus 10. So this is pretty right here. I've got x squared minus 6x plus 10. So again, if you do it right, your i's are going to cancel, and this is my x minus 2. So then, and I'm not going to take time to do it on the video, you would have to multiply this all out, okay? FOIL it all out together, and then get one nice pretty polynomial for your answer. But I want to look over here real quick. Remember, if this is a 0, if it's got an I in it or if it's got a radical, these come in pairs. So if this is a 0, I know 2 minus the square root of 5 is a 0. You only change the sign in front of the radical, or you change the sign in front of the I, the imaginary part, okay? So remember, when you want to find the factors, it's always x minus. So it's going to be x minus, and you could think a negative 4. But remember, a minus and a minus is a plus, so this would be x plus 4. And you can see if you plug in negative 4, it would give you 0. This one's going to give you x minus, and then just do your 0. 2 plus the square root of 5, and this one's going to be x minus, and this would be 2 minus the square root of 5. Okay, and again, let me remind you, multiply these two out together, and if you do it right, your radicals will cancel, okay? So this is just in case you forgot to do it. Don't forget the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. When you get to that point, the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is just boring 5. I love that, okay? So practice those if you haven't already before you take your final.